Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 24 of the 26 Days to Greatness Challenge. Super excited to have you guys back. And on today's workshop, I am so honored and excited to have with us Paul J. Lipsky. Paul is an amazing one of the top dropshipping experts out there, and he's a YouTuber and a business coach who is so passionate about helping others to create financial freedom by learning this powerful skill set of selling on eBay. So, and today on today's specific workshop, we will dive into about wealth mindset and why that is so important when it comes to creating success and tapping into our ultimate greatness. So with that being said, Paul, thank you so much for being on here today.
Oh, it's my honor. Thank you so much. I really love what you're doing because a lot of people will talk about like the technical aspect of things, but people don't get into your mind, and it's so important to do that. So I'm excited for
Yeah.
this.
Absolutely. And I'm ready to dive in with lots of the action steps that we will really be implementing during the workshops portion of this interview. But before we get into that, why don't you share with us a little bit about who Paul is? Because I actually met you in person in Miami a couple months ago when we were
Mhm.
at a mastermind doing a speaking gig over there. And I remember seeing you for the first time ever. You came out of this RV and you've been just traveling around the country inside of your RV, and that's just like a life that I feel like so many people desire and want that type of freedom. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because the life I live now is a life that in the past, uh, honestly, it would just been a dream. So, I grew up a pretty traditional life. Grew up in New York, outside of New York City on Long Island. Pretty ordinary. Went to school, went to college. Actually, was studying music in college, and then
Mhm.
realized after 4 years that it's really hard to make money with music. So I didn't do that. Spent a year trying to figure stuff out, and then just went to law school. I thought it would be a good fit for me. Actually, really enjoyed law school. I did really well there, but after law school, started to get some jobs. Nothing I was really crazy about. Finally, found a job that was good, but the commute was terrible. It wasn't where I wanted to be. I was living in New York City, working on Long Island, so it was about like a 2 hour commute each way. I ended up like
Oh,
sleeping on my parents' couch most nights because they lived
wow.
closer to where I worked. It
Mhm.
wasn't a good situation, and I ended up trying to just figure out a way to get out of that. So when I was looking for another job that was closer to the city, I was also looking for ways to make money online because I wanted that freedom. I didn't want to have to commute 2 hours each way if I didn't
Mhm.
want to. So I started looking for ways to make money online, found a few ways, and failed. Like it just didn't work for me. And there are so many reasons why that is. The business models I chose weren't beginner friendly, but a lot of it was up here. A lot of it
Mm.
was not the right mindset, which I'm sure we'll get into a lot. But I left that and I found a better job closer to actually in the city. So I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm living the American dream now. I got the apartment in Brooklyn. I get to bike into work over the Brooklyn Bridge every morning. It's beautiful. I like my job. It's all good. And then slowly, as time went on, I started to realize I'm doing the same thing every day. And if it's cold outside, I'm biking. Then I'm ending up in the subway. This is like this is not what I want to be doing. I'm just like not as happy with this as I thought I would be. And so, and in the back of my mind, I kept thinking to myself, you failed at making money online. You failed at making money online. And I said, I don't want to live with that. I
Mhm.
don't like the idea of failing. So I went and I tried a new business model, which is what we're going to talk about today. And that one was so much easier to start. It was so much more beginner friendly. The overhead was so much lower. So the risk was much lower. And I saw immediate success with it, enough so that I knew it did work. It took me a while to actually figure out the system because a lot of people weren't talking about how to really do it. But by the end of that year, or really by the middle of that year, things really took off and it really started to change my life. And then fast forward a year later, I'm doing the same thing on eBay and Amazon. And that's when I left my job. We decided to move down to Florida. And then after being in Florida for 7 months, we're like, you know what? Let's, we're location independent. We don't need to live in a house. we bought a van, which is an RV, has bathroom, 2 beds, kitchen, everything you need. So we live in there full time, and we're traveling around the country while doing this at the same time. It's just to sustain us. So it's been pretty incredible.
That is so epic. It's you have had so many different experiences in like music and then law school, and now you're living this freedom lifestyle. Sounds like it's been an exciting journey, definitely. And
Yeah,
as we
for
are
sure.
recording, and while we are doing this interview right now, we're in the midst of the whole coronavirus pandemic. And I think it's more relevant than ever before for people to start tapping into the online space to learn how to run a business. And but before we talk about the actual logistic steps on how to do that, why don't you share with us like exactly what drop shipping is, like how does it look like for us to sell on eBay, and why you say it's easier, like beginner friendly for people looking to get started?
Sure. And for this, I'm going to jump into my screen because I have a cool little graphic for
Awesome.
this.
I'm
Let's
excited.
share that. So you can see that, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is basically the way the system works. This is how drop shipping works. So on the bottom left here, we have the customer. And what the customer is going to do, and whether that customer is on eBay or Amazon, wherever you're selling, wherever you're drop shipping, the customer comes and they buy an item from you. That's me sitting at a desk. Looks nothing like me, but you get the idea. And they're going to pay me $100 for that. Then what I do is I take a portion of that, let's say $80, and I order the item that the customer ordered, but I order it from my supplier, and the supplier ships the item directly to the customer. That's how
Mhm.
drop shipping works. You don't hold any inventory. So it's not like you're buying a bunch of items and storing them in your garage or in a warehouse and then listing them up for sale and then shipping them out yourself. It's not the way it works. You don't have to have inventory up front, which means that if you list up an item for sale and it's like a bad item that doesn't sell, who cares? It's not like it's costing you money to hold that item because you don't actually have it in stock. You don't actually
Mhm.
buy the item until someone buys it from you. So the overhead here is really low. And you can see why with this model, I can run this from our van. I don't have to have a warehouse. I don't have to be in one physical location like you do if you have obviously a brick and mortar store or warehouse full of items. So that's the general model of drop shipping. Now, there are lots of like subcategories of this. Like you can do this on eBay, you can do this on Amazon,
Mhm.
and there's different ways that you get the items too. So the more traditional way that you might hear about drop shipping is the supplier that you use. So that's the bottom right. That's like you're connecting up with a supplier or a manufacturer. You have to call them up on the phone, build a business relationship with them, negotiate prices with them, and hope that they take you on. A lot of suppliers won't do that. But
Mhm.
again, I was trying to find the simplest way possible because I had already burned through so much money trying to make online businesses work. So when it burned through all that money, I didn't have a lot of money a lot of money to spend into my business. So I need a really simple system. So instead of connecting up with these suppliers that you have to build these relationships with, I instead started using other websites. Walmart.com, HomeDepot.com, Amazon.com. So literally what happens is I would take an item from Walmart and let's say it's a computer chair. I look at that computer chair and say, oh, this is a really nice one. I'm going to literally copy the images and the description and the title, paste it onto eBay. And then once it's on eBay, someone buys it from me. Once they buy it from me, I just go to Walmart, Walmart.com, buy the item. But for the shipping address, I'm not entering my address. I'm entering the eBay customer's address. So then Walmart ships the item to them. So that way I don't have to worry about trying to build these relationships with suppliers. I don't have to worry about shipping. I don't have to worry about taking photos of items or writing descriptions. All that is done for you. So that's basically how it works. There's obviously a lot more nuances to it, but that's the system.
Wait, I didn't know that actually works. Is that
Yeah.
actually so basically what I'm hearing you say is that big suppliers like Walmart, Home Depot, they don't even have any ideas that that's happening behind the scene, right? Do you have to let them
Um,
know that you are selling their products?
No, you don't have to let them know. They definitely
Mm-hmm.
know that we're doing it, and they don't seem to care about it. The only times they have problems with it is if people abuse it, and
Mm-hmm.
and there have been instances of that in the past where people like, um, I'll give you one example. But I hate to even put this out there because I don't want anyone to abuse this. But there
Mm-hmm.
are like
Mm-hmm.
certain items that you can buy from HomeDepot.com, and if you don't like it or you don't, there's something wrong with it. For most
Mm-hmm.
items, they would Home Depot would then send you a return label for you to return it. But for
Mm-hmm.
some items, Home Depot says, you know what, just throw away the item. It's not worth it. Throw it away, and we'll refund you anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
some people were going in and buying a bunch of them and then asking to return them just to get the refund, and then they would actually
Mm-hmm.
keep the item and sell it. You see, so that's like
Oh
abusing it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
don't obviously you don't want to do stupid things like that because that's
Mm-hmm.
just going to ruin
Mm-hmm.
it for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But most people are fine. Most people aren't doing that, and they don't have an issue with it as long as you're making them money.
Yeah, and I see it as like a win-win-win situation because you are finding these suppliers, customers, and you're just the middleman to connect the customers with the suppliers. But that is so genius. I never know that actually works. So okay, makes sense. So my question is then, how do you determine which product to put up for sale?
I'm glad you asked that because that is like the $1 million question. So remember when I talked about, like, I was telling my story, I said I started dropshipping. That was actually January of 2017. And
Mm-hmm.
I saw success with it right away, enough of it so I knew it worked. But then it took me like half a year to really figure it out. And the reason why is because I didn't know how to do product research. As soon as I
Mm-hmm.
started to do product research, things really, really took off. I think I have a screenshot. Maybe I don't have it um, handy right now. But if you look at like my PayPal account, which is how we get paid on eBay, you
Mm-hmm.
could just see like this. You see it like go like steadily up, and then like around August of 2017, it's just like, and that's because I figured things out. Like I figured out how to do the product research, which is so key. So I'm actually
Wow.
going to jump into my screen again
Mm-hmm.
and show you this. Which one is it?
And we're
Let's start.
transitioning right now to your business strategy, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Because
So
this
if
is
you
one
guys
of the key components of it. Go ahead. Sorry.
got it. So if listeners listening right now, I'm also taking notes. I highly recommend you guys to pull out your notebooks and just like pay attention because what Paul is about to go over right now is like the step by step in terms of building that business, making it successful. And would you consider this, Paul, as like your system for finding success inside of drop shipping? What you're about to
Yeah.
go
So
into? Okay.
this is definitely one of the secrets to success here. It's I call
Awesome.
this like my 3-step product research formula.
Great.
It's really, really key. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you this software. Now, software for product research is definitely not needed. I just like using it for like this demonstration because you're going to see some really powerful things in here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a software we use, and it does a lot of things. But let me just show you one thing real quick before we actually get into like my product research formula.
Mm-hmm.
So this can actually, what it does is it scans eBay and it's able to see what items are selling and how many of those items are selling. So check this out. This is just to kind of give you like a broad look at things. So I'm going to type in here, computer. Let's look up webcams. Now I've been
And
doing
this
this for a
is,
while.
yeah, sorry to interrupt, Paul.
Go.
I'm just curious, like, is eBay still like super popular? Are people still like buying a lot of stuff from eBay nowadays?
Yeah. So this is something that's is a mindset shift for a lot of people. A
Mm,
lot of people believe that eBay is kind of like this place that's just like an auction website.
yeah.
And that's definitely what I thought. I had maybe bought like 2 items on eBay before I started drop shipping there. But
Mm-hmm.
it's so many people still shop on eBay.
Okay.
It's crazy, but they do it. So that's one of the big mindset shifts that people have to have and
Mm-hmm.
realize before they come in here. The second
Got
big
it.
one is that most people kind of wonder, like, why does this work? Like, why wouldn't the person just buy the item from Walmart or Home Depot instead of coming to eBay? And the reason for that is because it's a matter of convenience. So it's the
Mm,
same thing when you go to like a deli or like a corner store and buy like a soda for like $1.50. when you can go to the grocery store and get the same one for like a quarter if you buy it in like a 12 pack, right? Why are you paying more? It's for convenience. And that's what these people are doing. They don't want to shop on Walmart. They don't want to shop on Home Depot. So they're coming to eBay where everything is. So literally these items would not be available on eBay if we weren't drop shipping them. So we are making these items available to these customers. Make
Got it.
sense?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay, cool. So let me just show you this real quick. Again, I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of know what's hot right now. But I'll show you soon how you can figure that out for yourself. But I'm just gonna have this software scan for the webcams and watch what comes up here. So what it's doing is pulling in all the different sales for webcams. You can see here on the top right, in the past 30 days, just for these 100 listings. Now there are thousands of listings, but just for these 100 listings, there were $60,000 in sales just for webcams. And you can literally come in here and this is telling you, like in the past 30 days, this one sold 485 times for $15. Wow. This one sold 400 times for $16.68. This one sold $289 for $29.98. So the reason I'm showing this is to show you, yes, people are still shopping on eBay. And here's a proof right here. But let's actually get into like what items you should be selling, right? Because just because these are selling doesn't mean that you can necessarily drop ship. I just kind of wanted to show you that so you knew that, yes, people are still shopping on eBay. Right. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to come over to Home Depot. Home Depot is a site I love to drop ship from. So this is step one of the formula. Step one is we are looking for other drop shippers on eBay. That's step one. Find other drop shippers on eBay. And to find them is really easy. So what you're going to do is you're just going to find a random product on Home Depot. So let's use computer chairs. Okay. So I'm just searching on Home Depot for computer chairs. Now, you're going to see a bunch of results here, right? And some of these people are going to be drop shipping on eBay. Some of them people aren't. Now, if I come down here, like you'll see, let's find a good one.
Wait, I think I'm still seeing your software on the screen. I know why.
Give me a second. I got to switch. You know, let's just do that. Can you see Home Depot now?
Yes.
Okay, so what I did was I just came to Home Depot and searched for computer chairs. Okay, now you'll see a lot of results here. And you'll see like this, let's look at these two right here. Okay, so this one has 1 review, the black one, and the red one has 27 reviews. So you would think that this one on the left, one with 27 reviews, is more popular on eBay than the one on the right because it's more popular in Home Depot. But just because an item is selling well in Home Depot doesn't necessarily mean it's selling well on eBay. But we are just looking, again, that's not the point of step one. The point of step one is to find other drop shippers. So what I do recommend is that you come down to something with a decent number of reviews, like this one. And all you're going to do is copy the title. So I'm copying it, coming over to eBay and searching for it. Okay. And here we have 2 results, at least 2 results right here. So these 2 people have the exact same match. And you can see, like, look at this picture and look at this title, right? And here on eBay, sorry, on Home Depot, look at the picture, look at the title. These are the same things. These people are probably drop shipping this item from Home Depot onto eBay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up one of these. I'll click on it. And now on the right is the seller's username. See, seller information says Mr. Max Service right here.
Yeah.
That is the seller. That is a drop shipper. You just completed step 1. You found another drop shipper. Not that hard, and we'll do it again. So now step 2 is you want to find which of their items are selling already. Okay, so we know that they're drop shipping. Let's see what they are drop shipping. So if I click on their name, and click over here where it says items for sale. It says 53 in this case. I'll click on that. This shows me all the items that they're selling. Now, just because an item is listed in their store doesn't necessarily mean it's selling. So I only want to find the best ones, the ones that are actually selling. So right here, these light bulbs sold 13 times. Great. This one, if I'm going to open it up, sometimes it doesn't tell you right here, but if I open this one up by clicking on it, I can see this one sold 2 times. See these right here? That's where you can find it.
Yeah.
Great. This one right here. Let's open up this one. This one sold 5 times. Perfect. All 3 of those items, I'm going to dropship now. Why? Because this person is already selling them. We know that they sell. There's no guessing here. It's not like we're going to take up a bunch of items from Home Depot and like list all these chairs and hope that some of them are going to sell. We don't have to do that because we know these items are already selling well on eBay. What we're going to do is we're actually going to list them and change them up enough so that people buy it from us instead of this guy. So that's the first 2 steps. Those are like the hardest steps, but the most critical ones.
So my question, so what would you consider as like that it's selling? What's the number? Is there like a benchmark that you look at for how many times it's being sold? What do you consider as like good?
Well, obviously the more the better. But quite frankly, as long as it's sold once, it will usually sell again. You can also come in here and let's open up these light bulbs, for instance. And where it says 13 sold, you can actually click on it and see when they sold. And these sold, so today is April 10th. These have been selling recently, right? Like you might come in here and see like a Christmas tree that sold 100 times, but in April, there's no point in listing that, right? So this is something I go much more into with my program. But yeah, coming in here, you'll actually see when they sell, and that's also really important to look at as well. But generally, if it's sold before, it will sell again eventually.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's steps 1 and 2. The third step here is now we actually want to find this item on Home Depot or wherever they're drop shipping it from and actually sell it ourselves. So that's not that hard to do. So what I'm going to do is let's open up these light bulbs. And what you want to do is scroll down to the description, which is right here. So where did they get this description from? They got it from whatever website they're drop shipping from. It's might be Home Depot because we know they drop ship from Home Depot, but they might also be drop shipping from Walmart or somewhere else too. So it could be any of those websites. I know just based on experience that this is Home Depot, just the way it looks. But what you want to do is there's a few ways you can find it. So first, probably the easiest way is come down to the description and highlight like a big block of text like this.
Yeah.
And copy it. And you can actually just search for it on Google. So if you're on Google Chrome and you right click anything, there's a drop down that says search Google. And that will actually open up a new tab and search Google for that.
So convenient.
And yeah, it's really nice shortcut. So here in the search results, the first search result is Home Depot. So I'm going to open that up, make sure it's a match. Let's take a look. So they are selling an 8-pack right here. Okay. And this is a 4-pack. So this might not be the right one.
Oh, I think they have an option in Home Depot, the number.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go. So there you go. That's it.
Cool.
That's the item. It's worth it to look at the photos, make sure they're the same.
Oh, and I see the price difference.
Yep, and there's a price difference as well. So that's
what you would keep the profit.
Yes, yeah, after fees and everything. So then what we would do is list this same product up. We have software that does that for us, and that's it. I mean, we would differentiate it by making a better title and some other little things, so we stand out from this guy. That's it. Another way, if copying this description doesn't work, if you come to this box, so let me go back to the top. This is eBay again. I'm scrolling down about halfway. There's this box. right here that says item specifics.
Yeah.
And you want to look for a model number, which there is none right here. Sometimes it's in the description, like a model number. And honestly, I'm not seeing one, but maybe we'll have another example with the model number, because that's, you can sometimes search for it from that. So that's the steps. From here, what I would do, I wouldn't go back to step one. Again, step one is you're finding another dropshipper. I would go back to this list and move on to the next product. So here's this one. So I'd open up this one and scroll down. And this isn't much of a description, but let's see what we can, if this will work. Search Google for. Here's Home Depot. So I'm going to click on Home Depot search result. And it's not really loading the page. There we go. So that looks like the right one to me. So that's the one that I would sell myself. And that's how it works.
Got it. That makes perfect sense. So it looks like a kind of like a detective work, and you just kind of play around and do all these research. So how often would you do that process, or is that like a first time set up a store and you're done with that, or you regularly update your products?
No, we are always adding new products. We try to do it every day. So because this is something you can do 100% online, I have virtual assistants that I've hired who live in the Philippines, who run the store on a daily basis. So they're actually going in there, adding these products, and then once they sell, they go ahead and buy them from Home Depot and ship them to the customers.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. So just like a brick and mortar store, you have to have employees to run it. But now you just have VAs to support you. And it's so easy to outsource VAs from Philippines and other places. So that is so genius. So okay, my question is, how do you determine like how much to price your items once you found the items to sell?
Okay, I'll give you the long answer, then the short answer. So the long answer is that there are eBay fees, there are PayPal fees that you have to account for. So you have to mark it up enough to cover those fees, and more than that, so you actually make a profit. So that's exactly what we do. I'm not going to bore you with the math right now, because this, again, that software that we use to list the items, the first time you set it up, you're going to basically program the software. I mean, program's like a big word, but it's like you put in a certain percentage into the settings, and then once you list the item, the software will automatically price it so that it covers all those fees and makes you a profit. So you don't have to do all the calculations yourself. So like, let me show you this software real quick. I think I have a screenshot of it because it's a little bit easier.
And is that a software you build, or is something that
no
people
way
can get?
No, it's a software that anyone can get. It's like what I recommend. There's a lot of different software out there that will do similar stuff. This is the one that I really like. I've tried like all of them, and this one just seems to work the best. So this is it. It's called AutoDS. So let me first show you the first function of it. This will play. Yeah. So again, it does a lot, but I'm going to show you one feature. It's called the uploader. So I'm coming over to the uploader in this video, and oops. And then let's say the item I want to list is this item from Walmart. I'm just going to copy the URL, just the URL. That's it. I'm going to paste it in this box and select on the drop down Walmart. So this is exactly what you would do if you were looking to list this item. And I'll click grab details. And what it's doing is it's pulling in from Walmart the title. You can see it up there. That's something I would change, but there it is. It pulls in the photo, and that's where it automatically prices it for me. There it is. I don't have to do that. It covers all the fees and enough to make a profit. It pulls in those item specifics, which I showed you before. That's like where I was trying to find the model number. It does that automatically, which is so important because eBay really wants those. Here are the other photos it pulled in. and it made this really nice description. Look at that. And there's, I mean, that's not even the nicest template. There's some really nice ones. And then all I have to do is down here at the bottom, click Save Product, Schedule Product, and boom, it's going to send it over to eBay. And now I've just created an eBay listing.
What?
That's it, like a second.
It's so easy.
And now, yeah, and what it's done is it's linked up that item on Walmart with the listing on eBay, so that if the price changes on Walmart, this software, AutoDS, it will automatically change the price on eBay for me.
What?
So I don't have to worry about the price on Walmart going up and then I'll lose money on the sale. It's not going to happen because this is taking care of it. Same thing with stock. If the item goes out of stock on Walmart, AutoDS will make sure that the item goes out of stock on eBay for you.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So everything is like so automated, and doesn't seem like it requires you to like put in a lot of time to actually sit down and manage everything. So now this is a really good way to transition into the next piece. So obviously this is a proven system that works for you and works for so many students that you have taught. So, but obviously it's not like every single person see results or success from, following these steps. So what really sets someone apart from being massively successful, like the kind of success you have seen, versus someone that is just not really seeing any results?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And the first part of the reason why some people are really successful is because they really believe in the system and they go into it with that full belief. But in order to get to that point, people need to have a mindset shift. One from where they don't believe that they are capable of building wealth to one where they know it's inevitable. And this has been very difficult for myself. And I see it's very difficult for other people as well. And that's based on the way that society teaches us about wealth and money and kind of tries to tell us that we are separate from the people that are wealthy and how we're just not supposed to be there, kind of. We're taught from like a young age that money takes work, money takes hard work, and that you'll never really get wealthy or rich because there's always someone trying to get in your way, whether that's the government taking your money or an employer whose job it is for them to make money. No one really teaches us that we are fully capable of being wealthy, and that is within our grasp. But it's a mindset shift, and it's really all about understanding that it's already there for you. And it might sound like a little woo woo and out there, but it's true. Like it is already there. I mean, wealth is, it's all around us. Like it is always there. But most people don't realize that it is something that they are capable of having themselves. And once you start to really believe that you already have it, but in a way that's not grasping for it, in a way that's really like complacent with where you are, and patient with it, that's when things really start to shift for me. Does that make sense, or is that just too weird when you're out there?
No, it makes total sense. I am 100% in alignment with this, because like for me as well, like how everything started to change was like when I had this realization in my mind, really asking like, what sets me apart from all these people who have massive wealth, who have massive abundance? Like who decided that I am less worthy or less deserving? And then when I shift that mindset and think like, why not? Why can I not have the same thing? And that's when I started believing that I deserve it, that it's all about birthright. And that's when everything started shifting for me. So, but my question for you, Paul, is like, how can someone really get this understanding and this knowing at the core of our beings, really like knowing that we deserve this wealth and this abundance? How did you make that shift for yourself?
So it's still work in progress. I mean, it's not something that's ever going to be finished, I think. I think part of what helped was once you start to see success, you can believe it for yourself. And then once you believe it, you can see the potential of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I also do some affirmations. And affirmations I have found, you can think what you want about them. And, some people are really turned off by the idea of something like the law of attraction. And I
Mm-hmm.
was that way for a long time. This whole like the secret law of attraction thing is just like, come on, like give me a break. That was the attitude I had about it. But I have some friends who do affirmations, and I was like, okay, and they swear by it. So I'm like, okay, I will try it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have affirmations where I say like every day, basically, or like, I am worthy of wealth. I deserve wealth, and I am wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And I just started saying them every day. And I think what it's done for me is it's given me confidence, and it's given me belief that I can do this, because most people just don't believe in themselves. And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
what this comes down to, is that
Yeah.
they just do not believe that they are capable of it. They've never seen success like that. They've never seen any wealth like that, or anything they've had was so fleeting, because as soon as they get it, they start to think they're going to lose it. So they
Mm-hmm.
start thinking negatively about it. I think that most people, and including myself, we push opportunities away because we're scared of them. But once you
Yep.
start to change your mindset and really believe in yourself, then when these opportunities come up, you're not scared of them. And
Mm-hmm.
you got to get real with yourself. I mean, I had to get real
Mm-hmm.
with myself. Like, I was scared of these opportunities, but once they started to come up, I was like, you know what? I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know
Yeah.
how, but I know I can. And why
Yeah.
do I know I can? Because someone else has done it. And just like you said, there's no difference between you and that other person. You're both skin and bone. We all have to eat. We all have to drink. We all have to go to the bathroom. We're all just humans. The only thing that's different than what we're doing, or like if you're not successful, what you're doing versus the people that are successful, is that the people that are successful just did it. They just went out and
Mm-hmm.
believed in themselves to such a like epic degree that they just were relentless in their pursuit of their goal, because they knew that if they just kept pushing, they would get there. So you really have to believe in yourself. And those affirmations, as corny as they are, they do help you start to have that mindset.
Yeah, I resonate with that so much. And I'm so glad that we are able to touch on this mindset piece, because, we have people, amazing mentors and educators such as yourself, and you're pouring everything into your students, and you really want to see them succeed. But sometimes we are our own biggest enemies, and that lack of belief, lack of confidence show up in so many different ways, like procrastination or not following through with a complete process, and all those little things that show up every single day. It all comes down to us not believing in ourselves. And I love what you said about how pushing opportunities away. I think that comes down to also like, we have to lose that identity of ourselves being like broke, being always like running out of money, that identity, in order to evolve into a person that is capable of receiving so much money and so much abundance. So I love that. Okay, so let me recap what I got out of that conversation, so that our audience can take something from this and they can go out and implement. So what I'm hearing is that, number one, we just have to cultivate that love of confidence, that love of belief, and we do that by understanding all of the abundance is already there, and it's just for us to go out there and grab it. And we can really cultivate that muscle by doing things like affirmation, understanding how the laws of our universe really operates, the non-physical side of things that we cannot see, but it really shapes all of our experiences, including the amount of money that we have in our bank account. It's all about coming down to 100% our beliefs. That's what I'm getting. Is there anything that I'm missing that our audience can go out there today and they can start implementing and really lock down on this piece of their process, so they can see massive success, and no matter what it is that they do?
Yeah, get a journal.
Sure.
And every day, again, this is one of those things I resisted so much, but every day I start my day off with three things that I'm grateful for, I write down, and three things I'm excited for the day. And then at the end of the day, I write down 3 things I accomplished that day. And again, 3 things that or 3 things that day that made me happy, or that brought joy into my life. And that will help you just cultivate the attitude of gratitude. That was a terrible rhyme. It helps you be more, helps you have more gratitude for your life, for the abundance you already have. And once you start to be grateful for that, you'll start to see, when the opportunities come up, you'll see that, yeah, I want that because the abundance I love so much. And so I want more of it. So I'm going to grab that opportunity, not be afraid of it.
Yeah, and this really ties back to what you mentioned earlier, is that once we start to see success on our journey, we start to cultivate more of our beliefs in ourselves. But at the beginning, it can be really difficult when we don't see the monetary results. Yeah, sometimes we feel frustrated because we feel like we're not seeing success. But by writing down 3 things that I accomplished by the end of the day, even if it's not monetary, even if you feel better today, I think those are small accomplishments that could really increase our level of confidence for ourselves. So I love that exercise. So you said 3 things that you're grateful for and 3 things that you're excited for in the morning. And then evening is 3 things you accomplished and 3 things that made you happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, so this has been such a powerful workshop. Thank you, Paul, so much for sharing with us your 3 steps formula, product research secret for seeing success in drop shipping. For anyone who's interested, I'm gonna let Paul explain this later, how we can, if you guys want to learn more about this skill set, how you can learn that with Paul. But so that's the first step that we learned today. And then the second piece was how to cultivate a wealth mindset, because that's so important and that intangible piece to our success that people just might not be aware of. So with that being said, Paul, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your expertise today. How can our audience stay connected with you or continue to learn from you?
Okay, cool. So I actually have another workshop that I did, pre-recorded. If you guys want to check that out, that's all like nitty gritty, analytical, none of the kind of mindset stuff. So if you want to see like more technically how dropshipping works, and if it's something that you really want to dive into, you should check that out. It's completely free. I recorded it earlier this year and people really loved it. So I saved it, made it available for people. So I'll give you the link and you can give that to people. That's the best next step for people.
Awesome. Yeah, I will include that link inside of this email that this interview went out to. So everyone just go back to that and you can grab Paul's free workshop. And then how can they find you online?
Just look on YouTube for Paul J. Lipsky. Instagram's Paul J. Lipsky, and you'll find me.
Awesome. And do you have a website?
I do, but it's just it's basically a link I'm going to send you. So
Okay, perfect. Awesome. All right, guys, so just go on to the email, go ahead and stay connected with Paul, and I hope you guys took away powerful nuggets. Go ahead and listen to this again so that you can implement and take action. Paul, do you have any last words to our listeners before we wrap this up?
Nope, just go out there and take action. You deserve it. So go for it.
Awesome. Yay. Thank you, everyone. I will see you tomorrow on day 25. And until then, get some work done and see some results for yourself.